Hi, I'm David Rintel. I'm the CEO of finby, previously also known as TrustPay, and thank you for having me today. Well, it's not only that Europe is not a single payments market, the European Union is not a single payments market, and not even the Eurozone could be remotely considered to be a single payments market as a whole. So you have different countries with very different preferences in terms of how people want to pay, and you have to take these into consideration market by market, country by country, in some cases vertical by vertical. So in terms of mobile adoption, payments in general, not just the new payment methods, have been becoming mobile first over the past decade and a half. People just use their phones for everything, and payments are just one of the many things we use our phones for. Historically, in order to launch a new payment method, it would normally be a card scheme. You would need card manufacturing, card personalization. The entire supply chain was pretty separated and quite expensive. With mobile first, however, you eliminated or significantly reduced the big chunk of the cost. And it only made sense for the new payment methods to be really mobile first and leverage the existing infrastructure, which in this case are account-to-account payments. So you combine something users love with an infrastructure that's already there and can be leveraged. So if you look at many of the European success stories, the Blick in Poland, Bizum in Spain, or MBWay in Portugal, it is pretty much the repetition of the same recipe. Once the local banks or the issuers, you could say, figure out that if they lean into the marketing and properly embed a good mobile first payment method into the banking app, people generally will flock to it and will come to adopt it. In almost any market, what you will see is people will develop payment preferences. If you're a merchant selling into a particular market, you generally only ignore these preferences at your own peril. There is ample evidence out there that if people do not find their preferred payment option during checkout, they tend to abandon the entire process, which means a lost sale for you as a merchant. So you truly need to take local payment preferences into consideration. Also, many of these payment methods are, again, from a merchant standpoint, they tend to be a bit cheaper than cards, again, depending on the market. They tend to be irreversible, so you don't have chargebacks and the operational overheads associated with chargeback management, and they tend to have higher approval rates or conversion ratios. What makes payments complex is that they are fragmented. So unlike the US, where you have a unified large single market, Europe is largely a collection of different markets put together. If you're a merchant, you need to treat every single market as a new market in terms of your payment mix, and that adds complexity and it adds cost to your overall strategy. So consumers in pretty much almost everything they do digitally are moving to frictionless, easy, mobile-first experiences, and payments are no exception to this rule. The proliferation of many of the local or regional champions in Europe, your Bizums, your Blicks, your Ideals, shows a recipe for success. If local banks with large consumer footholds operate a payment method, offer a payment method which is mobile first, embed it into the banking apps that people use on a daily basis, people tend to use the payment methods and people tend to grow very fond of it.